Welcome to Brooklyn Park Ice Arena and Northwest Suburban Conference boys hockey tonight. It's the Osseo Orioles visiting the Totino-Grace Eagles. Hi, I'm Jay Wilcox along with Dan Ficken. And Dan, actually a pretty key game in the West Division for these teams in the Northwest Suburban. Right now it's separated by a point in second and third place. They had a one-goal game the first time around. All indications are that this should be a pretty even matchup.
It should be. You know, both of them are playing for something too that's important. Osseo's coming off a two-game winning streak right now, so they're kind of encouraged. With Totino-Grace above them, they think they got a shot at maybe overtaking them tonight and putting themselves in the second place in the Western Division. Totino, although they have 2 out of 3 they've lost, played Elk River the other night and played a very, very good hockey game, 1 goal difference. So they're encouraged tonight too, so I think we're going to see a fast, encouraging game tonight.
Coach Mark Lohr from Grace said that that Elk River game was their best game of the year, and he challenged his guys, let's keep that going. You know, let's not have a letdown this time around in our game here against Osseo. Well, let's talk about key players to keep an eye on in tonight's game. They're each going to be centering their first line. Anthony Fetzik has been pretty good of late here for Osseo.
Really has. Good skater, and they've been picking up a little bit. He's finally starting to put the puck in the net. Although, Jay, he's my favorite. He's got more assists and goals, and I love it. He feeds and makes his teammates that much better, his line mates, and that line's got to produce. So it'll be real key if he steps up tonight and either puts one in the net or feeds his teammates to put it in the net.
And countering him on the first line for Totino-Grace, Sam Henches has had a nice year for them.
He's got 15 assists also. You know, they're both good playmakers, but he'll step up too. They make their lines go, and the first lines for both these teams are really key. So we'll see what Mr. Henches can do to pick it up. Winning faceoffs is huge. He's been very good at it this year.
Both teams struggling a little bit to try and find goaltending that's going to be there for them night in and night out. And obviously in any game that's a key, but probably even more so for these two teams here.
It really means a lot. They can score. I mean, they figured that out. Now, which team steps up and finds the goaltender that can start turning away pucks and give them a little bit better goals against average. Tonight, there'll be a test for 2 goalies because both coaches are looking for the one goalie that's going to step up this year.
All right, the Orioles and the Eagles will drop the puck in just a moment. Boys hockey on 12 Sports is up next. And just underway here at Brooklyn Park Arena. Totino-Grace carrying into the Osseo zone, but picked off and slammed out of there by Eric Lyons for the Orioles, and right back into the Osseo zone. This is going to be, icing waved off here. It looked like initially it was going to be against the Eagles here, so they try and get set up in the offensive zone. Lyons pinching back in there to help out, and they get it over, and taking a check there was Max Johnson, leading goal scorer for Osseo. Now a nice rush. Fetzik trying to go to the net. He got bumped off the puck though, and the Eagles looking to quickly counterattack. Cross-ice pass off the heel of the stick there and push back out to center and dump right back in. Now the race on. Henches closing quick, gets to that puck. Took a little bit of a check though, as getting back was Mitchell Brewer to help break that one up. And now the Orioles with Max Johnson. Osseo finishing a change here, and then that pass intercepted at center by Brewer, and he'll throw it back in. And right on net, and Drew Lodermeyer, the senior, in net for Totino-Grace here tonight, Dan. And he played a good game against Elk River. They were pretty happy with him, so they said, we're going to give you another one and see what you can do. His numbers are, not great, but coming off a pretty hot performance.
Well, you got to go. When a guy gets hot, you never know. All of a sudden, all those statistics, numbers, whatever you want to say, they're out the window. And if he can give the kids a boost and make a few key saves, all of a sudden, he might have that goaltender we've been looking for.
Poke checked on the initial rush, but the Eagles still get the puck in deep here. Almquist sending it around, intercepted. Almquist will get it back here for Osseo. Floats a little pass through center to Ty Hill, but knocked away, and the Eagles counter and toss one in. Ooh, and a little bit of a dangerous one as it takes a bounce. Jordan Mazzucchelli in net for Osseo, flipping that one aside. Again, a 5-4 win for Grace the first time these teams played over at Dick Bra Arena in Osseo. Kieran Miller, long pass, and deflected it up And into the netting there, is reaching out for it for Grace was Tyler Cahill, and it just barely got over the glass. As you get a look at Mazzatelli for the Orioles. Junior, and has played a good chunk of their games.
And again, you know, the coaches at Osseo are looking for him to step up and see if he can grab hold of this thing and tighten it down a little bit. You know, both teams are looking for, you know, some significant goal and a half shaving on their goals against average. And frankly, Jay, it would make a big difference for both of these teams if they could get that done, especially at the end of the season.
Flip back to center. The Eagles pick it off and sent back in, and Osseo with Brendan Heisler sending it across and not able to connect with Max Johnson. Comes in on net though, and Grace swinging it back, reversing the puck, and then reversing it again back across here to Nick Holton, one of their captains on D. And a race for it into the Osseo zone. Good job not panicking there by Heisler. And that pass given away near the blue line and slammed back in deep here. Heisler back to get it for Osseo. Pretty solid forecheck put on though. And a pop free in the slot. Pass over to an open wing, but now the net has come off. Pass was behind Ryan Johnson, or that might have been a pretty decent chance. There's Mark Lohr, the Totino-Grace head coach, and he was commenting on the article in the Star Tribune about the coach down at Mayo, 49 years, and he's going to retire. Mark said, I'm not going to make it that far, that's for sure. Let's look at that pass. If that had been on the tape, it would have been interesting out front.
It's
here's a chance right off the face-off.
Nice save by Mazzatelli there. By gosh, he came across real nice. Good pass out front. Good quick shot on a one-timer, and good save by Mazzatelli. That's good play by the goalie. So the Eagles do. Look at this pass. Bang. This is what Henches does, you know, and again, that pass. That's why he's got 15 assists. And Totino creates a scoring opportunity.
Boy, and if you're Osseo there, you got to at least get a piece of that centerman. He won that draw so clean. He could have had a shot himself, but he elected to give it up there, and Johnson was stonewalled. As Mazzatelli, as you said, read that one pretty well. It was basically a 2-on-0 and close. Now down low, Eagles pressing again. Pass back, stick lifted. Second try is in. Ryan Johnson will get the goal here for Totino-Grace. His first shot attempt, he had his stick lifted, but he didn't let it bother him. Second try is in, and the Eagles strike first to go up 1-0.
Just heavy pressure all the way around, not give it up in the zone. Everybody finding their position. Kind of fumbled with it on the first round once he got it. Here, not quite sure. And then bang, gets back at it. Mazzatelli now out of position, not coming across. Looks like he lost his footing. And of course, created an opening, and Johnson put it home to give the Eagles a 1-0 lead.
He is their leading goal scorer, now has 15 on the season for the Eagles. So they had, you know, the last shift or two, they had started to do some things in the offensive zone. There was a great stop on the previous face-off win, and then they continue to pressure and able to put it away.
Yeah, and you notice too that Johnson came down that slot out by himself and nobody touched him. You know, and you can't let an enemy play into that slot without making him pay physically. And also just a blind spot in their D right there, and it cost him.
Henches and Hayden Lacey will get the assist on Johnson's goal at 3:23.
Well, here's what you're talking about Henches too before the game. We're talking about the assists and the face-offs. Gee, guess what were the two factors that created that? The face-off win and just a beautiful assist play.
Otto getting the puck in deep here for Osseo. This Osseo first line has played pretty well, especially of late. That's it, sending it back out to the point. Long screen shot, and Lodermeyer able to make the stop. Osseo definitely looking to get traffic. Max Johnson was right on the doorstep, but Lodermeyer able to fight it off there and make the stop.
Good answer there by the Orioles, now coming on and creating a good shot. And I like the fact they brought it back up top, got a good opening, and Max Johnson was standing right in front of that net, screening the goalie. So that's one way to do it.
Tried to get one off the draw there, but it was off a skate in front on the shot attempt by Johnson. Fetsick, first to it here for Osseo as he wheels out front. And then knocked it back alongside to the corner by Dylan Dubuque there for Totino. They're able to get it out, although the rush interrupted. And as zigging and zagging at the blue line there was Ryan Jordan, so his teammates had to wait until he carried it into the zone. Now Osseo looking to counter. Here comes step 6. And he takes a bump and can't get that puck past the blue line. And now they'll regroup with Alec Johnson here as Totino-Grace changing up a few remaining players here, getting on into the zone, teeing it up with Johnson that misses the net. Puck squirts away there, and the Orioles come back up with it. Then a little bit of a bump in the back there on Max Johnson. Puck kept in as Ryan sends it around, but the Orioles need a change and will take it here.
Just Osseo right now, just a little too cutesy. They had a good burst of play to get that, good opportunity from the shot up point, but a little too many touch passes, a little, flutter. They need to get control of it a little bit more and know what to do there. When Max Johnson held on to it a little too long there while he got cracked from behind. Let a shot go.
Nice pass on to the tape of Henches at center, over to Ryan Johnson, back for Henches. He drops it back, and then a shot over the top of the net on the attempt by Lacey there, as they had a great trio passing. Another attempt blocked out front. Eagles still buzzing though. And now finally tipped out to center, thrown right back in. Grace Henches was offside there, obviously, and puck hitting his skate, so the whistle sounds here with 10:28 to play. There's Mark Fino, the co-head coaches, and this was his home rink for most of his high school career. Osseo used to play, obviously, at this Brooklyn Park Arena, as did Park Center at the time. Here's another look at this passing, and nice passing by Grace.
Setting up in a nice triangle design, moving the puck back and forth. This is very typical of a Mark Ward team. He's got his system down. He does a real good job of laying it out. The other thing, too, is their system as far as working from the top of the circles in the attack zone. They rotate well, and it helps with a good forecheck.
And Kevin Willey, the other co-head coach for Osseo. I think it's been a pretty good team for them. Mark and Kevin, personality-wise, coaching-wise, they've done a nice job together. And I really kind of love this too when I look at the roster and all Osseo staff.
Yep.
Their other coaches all played for the Orioles. Into the Osseo zone it comes here as Grace looking to set up shop again. Taking the hit there was Dan Forboard as he tried to pass it out front. Puck comes back to him as he takes another check. Orioles looking to reverse it, but instead it's intercepted behind the net. Good job though by Almquist to break that one up, and he will lead things out of the zone. One of the captains for the Orioles. Almquist trying to play it around the D and go get it, but just lost it at the last second there. Luke Bonfie reversing it here for Grace. Almquist at the point for the Orioles. That one blocked, and they'll have to regroup at center. Almquist, Grace trying to hurry and make that change. Shot attempt goes wide. If this game were played, 20 years ago, this would have been an Osseo home game. Obviously, Grace did not use this rink until much more recent times. And they used to be over at Columbia. Now an opportunity here for the Eagles. Got a little 3-on-2. Shot fired on net. Mazzatelli the stop on the high wrister from Ryan Jordan. Fetzig coming back the other way. Took a check at center. Grace doing a nice job reversing the puck to get out.
Yep. They've been doing it quite consistently, and they did very well. And all three guys coming out too. The other thing they'll do too is anytime they have the opportunity, they'll float their forwards high into the neutral zone, telling the Osseo D, you got to get out of the zone so they can't hold the blue line to make it that much easier to get out. So right now, Totino-Grace is playing more of their game, and Osseo is still kind of trying to find themselves, especially in the offensive zone.
Johnson sending it back to the point. Wrist shot goes wide by Alec Johnson. Pass, too much traffic to sneak that one through at center and intercepted. Picking up a little bit here now as Begerle carries the puck hard up the right wing, beats the D, puts it out front. Oh, and a great shot block. Begerle perhaps too unselfish there, and Brewer ends up blocking that shot. That was a 3-on-1 in close there for the Eagles after he got by the defenseman.
Brewer made a great play coming at that, blocking that, anticipating it. I'm not sure the goalie was ready to make that save, but the D stepped up to the plate, and that's what they got to do. But again, another good example of Grace, just a great puck movement, especially moving the puck to the open guy.
Alec Johnson carrying it up ice, chopped out a little bit there. Floated wide of the net. 1-0 Totino-Grace our score. Got about 7.5 minutes to play here in this first period on 12 Sports. Puck intercepted there by Osseo Xander Acri, but taken away and thrown down the rink. That'll be an icing call here against the Eagles. 7:13 remaining here in our first. Another look at that last chance and watch number 3 making the play. Good block.
Stayed low, compact, zoned it out, stuck right with that pass coming across. He's in good position and he stayed there.
Off the draw, back up to the point. Almquist will send it around deep. In chase there, Mitchell Peterson for Osseo. Now the Eagles looking to break it out hard up their left wing. Drop back and going to the net. Backhand try wide off the stick of Big Dan and foreboard there, and then a solid check behind the net.
Dan Forboard's rather large human being. He skates pretty good too for his size.
Throwing back out front. Osseo has a guy who was a guard on their state champion football team that we might see a little bit about here, the defenseman too, and John Delmonico. Although he's not, by football standards, that enormous at about 200 pounds, but
that's big enough for a hockey player,
yeah.
I'll tell you that. He can bring it. Them boards get really hard when somebody that big's hitting him, especially a guy who knows how to hit, so.
Another look at this collision behind the net, and you see pretty good check thrown in there. Connor Bjork giving up a little size, but
well, good form. He hit him in a good spot. Had the center balance on it. Took him down. Osseo's got to do more of that. Slow these forwards down for Totino. Start taking them out a little bit.
The Eagles looking to break it out, but got away at center ice there on the pass as Ryan Hall couldn't haul it in. Now they get it right back and send it in. It was lost in the skates for a moment there, and Mazzatelli's going to scoop that one up before any harm could come there as Peter Miller was bearing down on the net. Another pretty good size forward for Totino-Grace. And both teams will send out their first lines here. An important draw in the Osseo zone. 5:42 to go in the opening period, and Totino-Grace leading Osseo 1-0. Off the draw, Eagles control it, but Henches couldn't pull the trigger. And now here comes Fetzig over to Max Johnson. Have some space. Johnson shooting, and Lodermeyer fights that one off. They took away the pass at least enough there, and a good shot on that. Now an opportunity the other way. Mazzatelli come out, get a stick on that one as Fagerly came toward it. Puts it out front, and then a check just before Henches could stop him to the shot away. You see that first line of Grace is quite dangerous. Now Fetzig putting it back. Catch there from the circle of the top. Off of Lyon's stick here. Trying to send it around and out, but Alec Johnson will hold the point for Osseo. Henches coming way back in to help out here for the Eagles.
That's a good point there, too. With this type of system, the centerman has got to be deep in the defensive zone to help out, too. They actually play a lot of the full rank.
Ooh, rising shot up and over the top, then sent out front, puck still loose. Osseo unable to clear it and then push to the corner. Now Max Johnson trying to get to that puck. It just came out, so it'll be an offside. And they're going to bring it all the way down, I think.
Yep, going to take it all the way down. Well, Osseo getting opportunity. Max Johnson, they're coming in, and I'm okay with him taking the shot. He's their leading, goal scorer, so good job there. But again, nobody coming down the slot, but the goalie did a good job taking that rebound, directing it back into the corner where there was no rebound.
Puck rolling in deep into the Osseo zone. Getting out of there with it, Carter Compton. Now picked up, and a quick shot. Mazzatelli to save, and then sweeps that aside on the attempt there from foreboard.
We got a little more than 4 minutes left in the period. I was looking at the regular season stats versus the division. Osseo actually in the division is outscoring their opponents 10-6 in the first period. Kind of had a really good one, and I think it might have something to do later on when the first line gets tired.
Eagles on the attack. Big check attempt there. He mostly missed it, Alex Johnson, but now the Eagles are able to keep that puck in, but circling back in to pick it off there for Osseo. Great place, right time was Max Otto. Floated through center, and it hops over Otto's stick, and it's going to be an icing call here against the Orioles with 3:07 to go here in the first. And Osseo a little disjointed. I think overall Grace has had the better of things in this first.
Well, if you watch Grace with that system, especially with one player always high, they rotate somebody high in the forecheck, in the neutral zone, and in the defensive zone. It blocks those passing lanes, so it's real tough for Osseo to get it on the sideboard and then break it back out to a far side wing or a center because that passing lane's blocked.
Off the draw, Hensch's trying to pounce on that one again. Hensch's will send it back to the point. It's tipped twice, never made it all the way to the net, and now we get a call coming up here, and we have just a net off, it looks like.
Yep.
Mazzatelli out for a skate there. As kind of a dangerous one, although it never actually made it all the way through to Mazzatelli there, but it changed direction twice on the way in.
Yep. That's where positioning and being high out in the crease will make a lot of difference. Just cut down the amount of space where the puck can get through on you.
Hench is trying to walk it out of there. Now he does come up with it behind the net. Takes a bump, trying to get that puck back. Ryan Johnson comes in to help him out. He gets to it, puts it right out front, shot. Mazzatelli the stop. Even he wasn't sure if he still had it as Fagerly, very quick release on a great pass by Johnson. And I was about to say that one was going to be in. It almost snuck through Mazzatelli.
Well, again, that forecheck's working for him. Henches finds the right guy, and Fagerly almost gets it in. What I like there is he follows up, looking for that rebound, not quitting on it, going off to the side and skating behind the net. He went right back to the front and tried to find that puck.
And I think both guys showed some composure, not getting too carried away out front there. And then, you know, you still live to play, not in the box for either team. I mean, you don't like to see anybody going at your goalie, and they let them know that, but they didn't get too carried away with it either.
No, it's good, smart play all the way around. Message was sent.
Max Johnson's pass. Fetzik got a check at center. Now following up, he'll shoot it. Rebound try, and again he goes after it as Lyons working hard in there. Now Lyons puts it out front. Fetzik the shot. Lodermeyer the save, a big rebound, and then just wide from Max Johnson. Osseo getting some of its better opportunities here on this shift late in the period. Might play the Almquist as he stepped out of the way of that check. Fagerly was coming at him. Almquist pressured there by Henches. Now Ryan Johnson stepped in to help out. Henches puts it back out high. Long shot. Mazzatelli the save. Big rebound, but Almquist is there for Osseo. Now Fetzik looks to Max Johnson. Johnson shooting. Lodermeyer kicking that one out. Trying to bring it back out front. Now Fetzik chopping at it, almost freed it up. Henches floating one through onside. Here's Ryan Johnson, a backhand. Mazzatelli the save as he made for a bid for his second goal of the night. Johnson jumps in and grabs it here for the Eagles, throwing it out front. Here's a shot. Mazzatelli the save, and then he plays it to himself there as Forboard was there looking for a rebound after he put that shot right into that Osseo crest on Mazzatelli's chest there.
Mazzatelli, good positioning, but again, Totino, knowing where their guys are, they're having great success so far, Jay, finding the open guy, especially in the attack zone, and they're creating some good shots.
Check there, freed the puck up, but then it squirts loose. And the Osseo counterattack just didn't connect there with Max Otto. Under a minute to play now in the first. Eagles leading it 1-0, and here they come again. Carried in deep, sent out front, but a little bit behind its intended target forward there. And flipped back out to center by the Orioles, and it caroms in off a skate. Alec Johnson there for Osseo. Try to go long with that cross-ice pass, intercepted. Now a shot attempt, though, as a bouncing puck, and Monaco got an attempt. And flip back softly into the Osseo zone, no ice. Back to get it here is Brewer for the Orioles. And a giveaway, an opportunity here for the Eagles. Flip back out front. Nice recovery by Fetzig to jump back in and help out. It was a pretty bad giveaway there. Now Max Johnson shooting. Lodermeyer the save. And the period will come to an end here, as that goal by Johnson will be the only goal of the first period for Totino-Grace. Our score at the end of one here at Brooklyn Park Community Center Arena. 1-0 Totino-Grace.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
You watch Channel 12 at home. Why not on the go? Channel 12 is online at 12.tv. Watch on your phone, on your tablet. Channel 12 is your local source wherever you go. Just log on to 12.tv. Check out our videos, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, and even watch live events via live stream. So don't wait. Stay up to date with Channel 12 and 12.tv, your local source.
An eating disorder feels like having another person inside your head. It kind of built this wall around me.
The main thing that we needed was hope.
Your age, your gender, your ethnicity. Eating disorders don't discriminate. They can strike anyone. The National Eating Disorders Association has the information and resources to steer people and their families toward the road to recovery.
Call or visit the NEDA website today for help and hope.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
And welcome back here to Brooklyn Park Arena. No, the players haven't shrunk here. This is a great mite game. The North Metro program mites out here getting a chance to skate on the varsity game here and in this first intermission. So good to see. Obviously, this is where it all starts for the young players, and this got to be a thrill for them getting out here and see some pretty good skating, pretty good stick handling here too, Dan.
Well, these are the up-and-comers right here. I've always said, you know, if you get tired of coaching at the upper levels, come back here and it'll get you re-energized, because these kids are all about energy and just having fun.
See, the Zamboni hasn't been out yet. I had to play through a little bit of snow there, but that's quite all right. So hope you're enjoying the mites action here and also our varsity game. And obviously we're just a couple weeks into 2016, and boy, what a memorable year 2015 was. in high school sports in the northwest suburbs. A lot of champions, a lot of state tournament appearances, and all a variety of high school sports. And John Jacobson, our 12 sports director, put together a story about that, and let's take a look at that right now.
Our first local champion in 2015 was crowned in February when Osseo High School senior Sarah Bezdacek won the state Nordic Ski Championship, while Wayzata's girls brought home the team title. Champlain Park and Wayzata each won section gymnastics championships. The Rebels finished 5th at the state Class AA meet. Maple Grove and Wayzata each enjoyed strong seasons in girls hockey. The Crimson lost just twice all season, with the Trojans losing a heartbreaker in overtime of the section final to Minnetonka. Several local wrestlers qualified for the state tournament. Totino-Grace's Lance Bennett capped a brilliant prep career by winning his 4th consecutive state title. The lone local state champion in boys swimming, Maple Grove's Brenner Hohenstein, who won the 100-yard breaststroke. The Robbinsdale Adapted Sports Program added another state title to their cachet, capturing a 5th straight championship in floor hockey. One of the highlights of the winter sports season was the success of the Champlain Park boys basketball team. The Rebels cruised through most of the regular season and then beat Wayzata before a packed house at Rogers High School to win the Section 5 4A championship.
Be headed to the 2015 state tournament.
Behind Mr. Basketball winner J.T. Gibson, the Rebels won a school record 31 games and lost their only game of the season to Apple Valley in the state Class 4A final. Park Center's girls basketball team showed 2014 was no fluke. The Pirates won their conference and section, and then to cap it off, beat Marshall for a 2nd straight season to win the Class 3A title. The Hopkins girls won their 4th title in 5 seasons and 6th overall since 2004 in basketball by beating Eastview in the championship game. And Maranatha Christian Academy finished 2nd in the state in both boys and girls Class A basketball. The spring brought more sunshine and more awards to local athletes and teams. Armstrong's baseball team won a 2nd straight section title and a first-round game in the state tournament at St. Paul's new CHS Field. Maple Grove's Sydney Smith was a 2-time Metro Player of the Year in softball and helped the Crimson win a 4th straight section championship. Maple Grove finished 3rd in Class 3A. State meet records in track and field were set by Hopkins senior Joe Klecker in the 1,600 meters and by Wayzata junior Ruby Stauber in the 800, who broke a girls' meet time record that had stood since 1986. Wayzata's boys won the Class AA team title. Trojans boys golf team won the state Class 3A championship for the first time since 2011. Brothers Bobby and Ben Frassini tied for 10th place overall, along with Hopkins' Connor Hall and Osseo's J.J. Svak. In Class A girls golf, Heritage Christian Academy sophomore Kiera Smith took home medalist honors, winning the 36-hole tournament by 5 strokes. And 3 local girls and 1 boys team won section titles in lacrosse. In the fall, a veteran Hopkins boys cross-country team, headed by 4 seniors from Golden Valley, won the program's first state team title in 13 years. Wayzata's Jarrett Carpenter was the Class AA individual champion. Led by Gatorade Player of the Year Sidney Hilly, Champlain Park won a 2nd straight section title in volleyball, beating Wayzata in a thrilling section final. The Rebels finished 3rd at the state tournament. Heritage Christian Academy qualified for its first tournament in any sport as the Eagles reached the Class A state volleyball semifinals. It was quite a sight at the state girls tennis tournament when Brecht Grace Zumwinkel and Lauren Kozakowski beat their older sisters, Anna Zumwinkel and Kendall Kozakowski, to win the Class A doubles championship. Class A's Ms. Soccer, Alexa Tatterin of Plymouth, helped Benilde St. Margaret's win a state soccer championship, the 3rd for the Red Knights in 4 seasons. Brecht's boys enjoyed a great year too. The Mustangs placed 2nd in Class A. Wayzata's girls and Park Center's boys qualified for state soccer in Class AA, the first section title for the Pirates in 11 years. Wayzata's girls continued their dominant run in Class AA swimming and diving. The Trojans won a 3rd consecutive state championship in November, setting a handful of school records along the way. Finally, it was collectively one of the best seasons ever for local prep football teams. Wayzata bounced back from a disappointing 2014 season to win 8 games. Armstrong had its best team in years, winning 7 games and narrowly losing to Maple Grove in the postseason. Cooper finished 6-3, and Park Center went 8-3, coming within a game of their first section title in 30 years. Totino-Grace continued its strong tradition in football, reaching the Class 6A semifinals. Maple Grove did the same. A great Crimson season ended in heartbreak for a second straight year in the state semifinals. Plus, 2 local seniors were finalists for Mr. Football. Maple Grove's Isaac Collins and Park Center's Amani Hooker. But grabbing the headlines in the end were the Osseo Orioles, a team that relished in the role as underdogs and rode the tide all the way to a Class 6A championship. Led by senior workhorse running back Prince Crua and a stout defense, the Orioles beat strong postseason foes Lakeville North, Totino-Grace, and finally Eastridge in the final seconds to win the program's first state title since 1970.
Some great memories there, and we hope you enjoyed our look back at 2015, and it sure was a lot of fun bringing all those games and matches and highlights to you all throughout the season, and we hope for just as good in 2016. We are in our first intermission here in our Northwest Suburban boys hockey game between Osseo and Totino-Grace. The Eagles leading it 1-0. We will come back with first period highlights and much more here on 12 Sports.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry. I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Sharing your passion starts with taking that first step. Take Will, for example. His first step was taking free TV classes at Northwest Community Television. He's learning production skills and now has access to cutting-edge equipment. He's working on local music productions, meeting new people, and gaining experience needed to produce his own show. Best of all, he's sharing his passion for music with others in his community. Share your passion. Visit nwct.org.
Hey, did you buy something from some gaming site?
What do you mean?
Yeah, look, there's a bunch of different charges on here.
Do you think someone stole our credit card information?
I don't know. That site sounds familiar, though.
Yeah, isn't that the site that Billy's on all the time?
You don't think.
Billy? Stop and think before you connect. Playing online is serious business. Visit dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect for tips on how to be safe online.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Sharing your passion starts with taking that first step. Take Lindsay, for example. Her first step was taking free TV classes at Northwest Community Television. Right away, she received professional training and now has the tools and skills necessary to produce her own show. she's turning dreams into realities right from her own home. And best of all, she's sharing her passion with members of her community and beyond. Share your passion. Visit nwct.org.
And welcome back here to Brooklyn Park Community Activity Center. 1-0 lead for Totino-Grace after our opening period of play here in Northwest Suburban Conference Hockey as they lead the Orioles. And we'll take a look at some highlights from this opening period of action. And Totino definitely getting the better of things overall. Look at some of this pass out front, and there is the goal. Ryan Johnson had a stick lifted briefly, got back control of it and pumped it home. 3:23 into the game. And the pass coming out the right side. Johnson put the right back out front. A little tick-toe passing there, but didn't hit the net. And then another opportunity there. Mazzatelli getting some help sliding across. Here's Max Johnson firing on the 2-on-1 rush for Osseo, but Sodermeyer the save there for the Eagles. And then another good chance generated here. Johnson puts it right out front. And a nice stop there by Mazzatelli on Cam Fagerly for Totino-Grace. Little hitting, and certainly in that first period too. And Osseo getting an opportunity there as Lions put it right out front. But Fetsick was denied, and another cross-ice pass here, and that one flipped up as the stop made on the attempt for foreboard of Totino-Grace. You see the shots favoring the Eagles by about a 2-1 margin, and they definitely had a bit of the scoring chances. No penalties taken by either team in that first period. Here is a look at how things shape up. As we said, an important one in terms of the West Division standings. There's two divisions in the Northwest Suburban as of a couple of years back, and Spring Lake Park leading in the West right now, and Totino-Grace a game back of them, and then Osseo and Armstrong Cooper tied at 4-3. So obviously the Orioles, if they could beat Grace tonight, would push themselves into a tie for second at this point in the season. Mirror ball up on the hanging above the rink here at Brooklyn Park. We will come back and drop the puck for period number 2 in just a moment. Totino-Grace 1, Osseo 0, our score here on 12 Sports.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Hey, you going out like that?
Yeah, why?
Well, what would the neighbors think?
I see you! Come look at Mr. Feather.
Look what I have.
Mr. Bird, remember? Bark, bark, bark. We're just playing. We're just playing on trying to get you out of here.
Even still.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Volunteering is more than just a word. It's a window to opportunities. Take Mark, for example. By taking free TV classes at Northwest Community Television, Mark is helping bring entertainment and information to his community, along with building a foundation of skills that will take him one step closer to his dreams. Share your passion. Visit nwct.org.
30 million Americans will suffer from an eating disorder at some point in their lives. The National Eating Disorders Association has the information and resources to steer people and their families toward the road to recovery.
Hi, I work at the NEDA helpline. We have something called Click to Chat, which is a live chat with someone on the helpline, and they're really able to get support.
Call or visit the NITA website today for help and hope.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Teams back out on the ice for getting set for period 2. A little bit of an extended break with the mics playing out here, and so we'll see who has the jump to start period 2. I think, again, safe to say the Grace coach is probably a little happier with what they saw in the first than the coaches from Osseo.
I think you made a correct assessment there, Jay. I'll tell you. It was, Grace played a great period. Stayed within the system, did what they wanted to, created chances, as we saw, had a lot more scoring chances. It's just the way they played, too. Good positioning, good puck movement, good solid D. I don't think Osseo got too many really good chances there, so it was a dominant period by the Grace Eagles. It's up to the Osseo Orioles now to start controlling the puck a little bit more. One thing I'd recommend, dump the puck in Grace zone. Don't try to be pretty coming across the blue line. Grace's defense is too good. Dump it in, get your throw check going, throw it back up top to your point and get some shots. We saw them create some opportunities with shots in the point. That would be what I would have told the Orioles in the locker room.
If you're Totino-Grace, if there was one negative, it might be that you might left that period feeling like we should have had more than one. And sometimes those chances don't necessarily continue to come your way all throughout the game. I mean, they definitely like the way they generated chances. They finished one, maybe could have had 2 or 3 though.
Absolutely.
Underway here in this second period as Osseo trying to get set up in the offensive zone, but not for long as it pops back out. Max Johnson there to play it. He's pursued by Henches. Into the Eagles zone as Almquist's shot is deflected up high into the netting, and get a face-off coming up here.
You see how good the Eagles were in that blue line there, Jay? They just closed it up. They gave Almquist nothing. Pressed him up against the boards and wouldn't let him go back in the middle. And all you have to do is try and get the puck down. He should have just dropped it in low.
Ryan Johnson trying to bank that one out, intercepted by Max Johnson. Now Ryan Johnson again does get it out to center, at least this time. Pass drop back to Fagerly here. Trying to float it over to Henches. Too many bodies to get that one through though. Osseo able to break it up and come back the other way. Fetzig getting it ahead to Max Johnson. Johnson one-on-one, a rising shot up and over Lodermeyer's head. Nice play to get that puck started out there by Elliot Becker for Totino-Grace. Now a 2-on-1 chance for the Eagles. And Mazzucchelli fights that one off. Ryan Johnson trying to find that puck. I think the ice a little bit wet there in the corner as he was trying to find it. Now the Orioles able to get it on out. Pass just failed to connect though for Otto. Otto hustling in after it, putting it out front. Opportunity here and close. Hill's backhander though will go wide. Eagles trying to get it out now with Lacey, who had an assist on that first goal. And flipped on in there for Grace by Becker. Floated high off the glass here, and a nice pass to sneak that one through to Hill. Now sent out front, but directed to the corner there, and a nice play by Sam Brzezinski for Totino-Grace. And bringing it off the wall, shot and a goal! Backhander buried by Max Otto, and we're even at 1.
Good play by Otto coming out of the corner. They got it jammed up down there. Good forecheck. And they got it out of there when they were outnumbered. Jay coming through, Otto coming back, and he took the backhand. He didn't try to go back to the forehand. He took his backhand and snuck it in. And you see just a good pile up there. And more Totino-Grace bodies, but Osseo came out, won the puck. A little bit of a flutterer and puts it in the lower left side. That beats the goalie for the Grace Eagles.
Got by Lodermeyer on the stick side there. I don't think he's expecting it right in that spot. Now Grace with a rush back the other way. So Otto coming off the wall does a nice job to put that puck away for Osseo. It didn't necessarily look like, you know, a super great chance initially, but just nobody really came up and stopped him. And then, as you've said many times, oh, there's a penalty coming up here against the Orioles. You've said many times backhanders can be hard to read for a goaltender.
Real hard. There's no follow through on it that they can read. And then when you start getting his fluttering, then it makes it doubly hard to get a puck on it, or get a glove or a stick or a blocker on it, whatever. So good comeback by the Orioles. Got themselves tied up. Now they're going to have to kill a penalty. And overall, though, the Orioles penalty kill has been very good. They're working at an 80% percentage, which is very good, which you want your team to do. And Grace's power play has only been running at about 15%. I think this is one area where Coach Lowe would like to see them improve. So see if they can pick something up and move the puck and create something here.
Max Johnson goes for a cross check at 2:35. The assist, by the way, on the goal for Otto went to Hill and to Losinski as Otto his third goal of the season. So good news for Osseo, they tie it. Bad news is they take a penalty shortly after, and they'll have to try and kill it here. Nice job to keep that puck in by Fagerly. Now Henches controlling here for Grace, putting it out for Ryan Johnson. It gets through him and will bounce back into the Totino-Grace zone as Fagerly comes back to pick it up.
No, we were talking about Johnson being the leading scorer. He's got 3 power play goals for the Eagles this year, so they're going to try and feed him.
Trying to drag that one through, and jab to the corner here by the Orioles. Now Henches trying to go back to Johnson. It's picked off in front. Lyons trying to get an angle to get it out, but he couldn't. And a couple guys go down as their skates got tangled. Both sides grumbling a little bit. They play on. Here's Fagerly carrying it to the high slot. Drops it over. Now Henches looking to get it back on a give and go. Down to the right side. That shot denied. Fagerly will whip it back across. Ryan Johnson down low with it. Henches giving it back to Fagerly and back for Henches. Reflected to the corner. Ryan Johnson sliding it across. Here's a quick shot, and the stop made there by Mazzatelli on the attempt from Nick Holton there for Grace. Grace moving the puck well, although they weren't necessarily threatening really until that end of that sequence.
Yeah, the wide angle shot, but still a little farther out, but still. That's a pretty good shot right there. The difference is goalie saw it the whole way. Nobody was in front of him, nobody blocking him out of the screening.
25 to go on the power play now for Totino-Grace. Got their second power play unit out there. Here's another shot from the other circle this time as attempt put on there by Luke Bonfi, but Mazzatelli again got a good look at it and able to make that stop. Eagles able to keep that puck in. Penalty time winding down, but they're looking to get at least one last good chance. Puck deflected out to the point. That one blocked. And coming out of the box is Hill. It's onside and he slipped. Wait a minute. Yes, he didn't. Oh, we've got too many men on the ice for Osseo. Gosh. They got 6 skaters out there.
That's a major mistake. Major communication problem. You got to tell the guy in the box, give him the freedom to go, and tell the guy in the bench just to hold off for the time being. The puck was already out of the zone. No big deal. And that's a major mistake by the Osseo bench. And he can only blame that on the bench. Wow, it's almost like they got to kill off a double minor here, Joe.
Yeah, the Hill, you know, they signaled Hill was good. He was onside. Then you look up and, hey, wait a minute. Somebody replaced him too, where they got 6. And a good job to spot that by the officials there. So right back to the power play goes Grace. Pad save, Mazzatelli, the rebound though is in, and it's 2-1 Totino-Grace. Didn't take long on that second power play as it's jabbed home on the rebound by Hayden Lacey.
And Mazzatelli made a good save initially, but I think it fooled him, Jay, the way it bounced back at him. It came back toward the middle. He wanted to send it outside. Came back to the middle, and Lacey was standing right there to bounce it home. See the puck come out. I think it'll go across here. Yeah, up top and the shot comes. There's the save, and it bounced weird on it back toward the middle, and Lacey was right there unattended and puts it away. Boy, costly penalty by the Osseo Orioles there. And the Eagles taking advantage of it, going back up to a 1-goal lead.
First goal of the year by Lacey was a defenseman, but was up there in front on that power play.
I always like to see those D get up there and get a goal or two, Jay, to show that they're there and can do more besides defending.
Fagerly getting the assist on the goal for Lacey again, his first at 4:51 of the second period. So 2-1 lead here for the Eagles. Lions banking it high off the glass, but kept in, and well, not quite kept in there by Lacey as he actually jumped a little bit to halt, try and knock that one in, but so face off outside the zone with 11:40 to go, and boy, Osseo, that it almost feels like a double gut punch, like you said. They did a nice job with the kill. They were actually getting a rush the other way, and then ended up taking that too-many-men penalty.
Yeah, it's little things like this that make all the difference in the world in these games.
And the forecheck frees the puck up there. As a solid job by Dubuque, getting his body on an Osseo player, but doesn't result in much of a chance. Now the Orioles get it back in deep into the Eagles zone. Kept in along the wall there by Perna.
Ooh,
high rising shot. Sent out front, but tipped away, and the Eagles coming back out with Cahill. Cahill trying a little toe drag there. Follow-up opportunity, and that's sailed high off the stick of Hunter Lindquist. Now the Orioles breaking out with Almquist, sending it too far though, and it's going to be an icing call here as he tried to hook up there with Losinski.
Yeah, I think that the Orioles would be better served, Jay. They just, instead of trying that wide across-ice pass, just get it across the red line, which Almquist had enough to do, and just dump it in the zone. Let your forwards go to work. Get it established deep inside the zone. Once you get defense and Totino to back off, now you can carry it across the blue line and create something. But until they establish getting it in, it's going to hurt them.
Bad save, and then a rebound was left out front from him. I also think tying in with that, aside from dumping the puck, they need to make shorter passes on the way out too.
Yeah.
Tip loose here, and the Eagles come up with it. Fagerly, or excuse me, Lacey circling back there. And now pushed back into the Grace zone, and Lacey will come back to get it. Pretty good size on this Totino-Grace team. I mean, obviously not everybody, but you got a handful of guys who can, like this guy, who can play, and also got some pretty good size, although this time offside as Forboard brought it in.
No statistics on him, but he's a big boy. He's got to be well over 200, but nice move here by the D, takes it in deep, gets a shot across, and almost got a tip in there, Jay. Got on the pad, but, you know, Grace has been good about having somebody in front of the net there. He's got having an opportunity that way. Ooh, that was dangerous.
Deflected in, and Kelly will leave it for his D. Osseo, you know, if they were, I'm sure, hoping to come out with a lot more jump and a lot more play in the second, but in reality, it's been more of the same, or even possibly a little worse in the second period. Now here's an opportunity though. Max Johnson, even though they did, of course, get that goal that tied it briefly there. Oh, and it hopped over Lyon's stick. Just a bad bounce as he was cruising in looking for that rebound. Now Fagerly. For Ryan Johnson, wow, a clean takeaway by Max Johnson of Osseo. To the line, and it'll squirt back out. Osseo will send it in, but they have to tag up here. Becker over there to get it, but he kept it.
There you go. I mean, you're just like, let's just always go to work a little bit. It was a nice play by Brewer to throw that back in the zone and go to work. Now we had a player fall down, change it up, but yeah.
And Max Johnson tipping it in deep and then took a hit from Henches right at the whistle and didn't care for it. Been a pretty clean game so far, although that can always change in a hurry. You know that from watching a lot of hockey.
You know, you would think too in this league now with Grace in it, this might be another natural rival for the Osseo Orioles. Here, of course, the Crimson, but the Crimson in the other division. This is a within the division type situation for them. So,
well, and I think maybe particularly with, I don't know, it feels like with Grace's move over to here to this arena too, it makes it a little bit more so that way. Get a whistle and an icing call here, and we'll come back into the Grace zone as you get a look at Mark Lohr. And he's kind of seen it all. He's had a lot of really strong teams, some others not as much, and you know, just never really gets phased out there. He's been through a lot of different situations with his Eagles program.
34 years, he's probably seen a heck of a lot there.
And a pad save there, a huge rebound. Now Osseo get another crack at it. Turnout, missing the net with that blast. Almquist up with it. Almquist firing, and there's Lodermeyer to make the stop here for Totino-Grace.
Lodermeyer good position, but the Orioles now got a little buzz going. Guess what caused it? They dumped the puck in the zone and created a situation where they got a face-off and worked it, and puck will come out here. They're hacking away now. Come over to Boone Almquist, I think. No, they get another shot there, and almost had an opportunity there with Brian, with Max Johnson.
Check thrown by Lyons, and Fetsick up with it. But lost there as Osseo started to pick up, taking the body here, certainly. Dumped back in deep, put out front by Lyons, but covered up nicely there by Pettijohn for Totino-Grace. But you can feel the momentum changing just a little bit here. Osseo starting to get something going. But maybe Grace will try and answer with the rush here. Drop back. Forward putting it across, and then a little bit behind though as we look for Rucinski. And it'll be Forward coming up with it again here. Long shot deflecting high, and then Forward lost an edge where it falls down.
I just think on top of the Forward and skating ability, and sometimes they didn't say anything. It was really jinxing.
Opportunity now, 2-on-1 for Osseo. Oh, and the shot missed high as Compton put it up over the shoulder of Lodermeyer, but too high and off the glass. Tip loose, and Max Johnson's going to get a penalty here as he probably will be called for an interference. Yes. As the puck was chipped out by Grace, and it was looking like it could potentially be something developing for them, and Johnson just took him down.
Well, Henches is getting under the skin. He's been yapping a little bit too here. Good opportunity, but son, don't miss the net. You had a guy with you. Get it into the pads. Your buddy might be able to get a rebound if the goalie can't control it. That's a big mistake a lot of young players make. They're missing the net trying to go for this great corner. Just get it on the goalie, and let's see what happens.
So Osseo's now taken 3 penalties in this period. Pad save there by Mazzatelli and thrown down the rink. Hard to tell, but that one might have been not such a bad penalty for Johnson because it looked like there was going to be trouble heading the other way. And this is going to be icing against Totino-Grace on their power play.
Well, it was Henches, and I just, all of a sudden this period, Henches is kind of, that's the second incident gone in with him, and I think maybe part of the strategy is just getting under the skin of some of the Orioles and getting them distracted.
So face off in the Grace zone. Henches will face off with Acri. Orioles able to control the draw. And Acri will come up with it. He's all alone though as they're short-handed, of course, right now, and taken away by Henches, and Eagles looking to break it out. Henches will float it over for Ryan Johnson. Johnson circling behind, puts it out front to Henches. Wow, Mazzatelli just got a piece of that one. Really good timing on sneaking that pass over. Back across, here's a shot, and the rebound deflected loose. Mazzatelli trying to find it, and he does. And then Osseo did not like the extra little shot taken there by, I think it was Ryan Johnson.
And an Eagles going into the box here, but nice play by Ryan Johnson there back to Henches and got a good opportunity there, but Mazzatelli was still on it. There's where Mazzatelli's having a little problem. Once he gets going to his right a little bit, he has trouble getting back to the left. He's got to get that skate dug in. So we'll see. Lacey's going in for the, there's two going. Each one's taking one and an extra for the Grace Eagles. Been an interesting call here.
Yeah, looks. Did they take two from each team, or two Grace and one Osseo in that last sequence anyway?
So we'll give it less than a minute for Osseo. Will end up having a power play here, I think, when all's all figured out.
Yeah, Mark Fino clarifying with the official that two of theirs, one of ours went at that last juncture. The initial penalty, I think, was going to be to Ryan Johnson of Grace, and then two other guys kind of mixed. And I think probably a fair and equitable call based on what we saw there.
Yeah. I think that'll be the first time now Osseo will end up being on a power play.
Yeah. We'll be 4-on-4 right now, and then be a power play, you know, assuming no further penalties, of course. Carried ahead by Fagerly. Cross-checking on Lacey, roughing on Ryan Johnson and Ockery. So all of those coming at 10:45. So again, that does put us 4-on-4 here. Lions trying to drop it back for Fetzig. That one broken up. And taken away by Fetzig. Fetzig shooting, and that one goes high off the glass. You just tell the confidence has risen for Osseo. And meanwhile, Grace, you know, looking a little shakier, getting the puck out of their zone. There's just the momentum's kind of been grabbed away a little bit.
Yeah, Osseo starting to show that speed. They can skate. This confidence thing is helping a lot. And momentum with them, so we'll see what happens.
Fetzig sweeping that puck in as they struggle to get going. And now Osseo at full strength, so Osseo's on the power play. Long home run pass there, knocked away by Almquist. So we'll see what Osseo can do with the man advantage there, down by a goal. And knocked out of there as maybe if we hadn't just seen all those penalties, we might have seen that arm come up there, but we don't see it. Pass banked ahead, Max Johnson gaining control. And on it, but following up is Otto to help him out. And that one given away and dumped down the ice. Kelly sending it along to Max Johnson, who circles back to gather. Only 5 to go in the power play. Johnson carrying it into the Eagles zone. Penalty is now over, so back to 5 skaters aside. The abbreviated power play doesn't amount to much for Osseo. Here's a drive. It goes off the glove of Lodermeyer, the tip of his glove. It might have been heading over the net anyway. Osseo a lot more jump in their skates as this period has gone on. They were pretty slow starting again in the second. Thrown in at Mazzatelli there. He blocks that one.
Well, Osseo's back checking now. They're really annoying Totino-Grace down the ice, and Grace in the first period and a half was just going down the ice, no problem, especially through the neutral zone. Or if all of a sudden they're back checking and bugging him.
Hill tapping that one ahead here, looking for Riley Mitchell. Fight for it right in front of that Osseo bench here. Orioles come away with the Lodermeyer directing that one up into the netting. Another face-off coming up in the Eagles zone here. Grace leading it 2-1, although the complexion of the game has changed later in the second period, with Osseo showing some definite signs of life.
Oh, they're winning one-on-one battles now, too. We've seen a couple times this period where they've had the puck up against the boards and playing against Eagles, and they come out with it, and that'll build your confidence, too.
Eagles control the draw, but falling and unable to receive the pass was Fagerly. Dropped over for Henches. Now he gains control. 2-on-2. Oh, and Henches is lined up and a solid check thrown there by Delmonico, even though he ended up going down too. Now it comes right out front as Henches trying to drag it through. Ryan Johnson up with it. Back to the point. Now right back for Henches. Ooh, and it deflects just wide. Johnson intercepting for Grace. Ryan Johnson, a backhander. And the stop made, and then he goes to the net, and a lot of guys in orange are trying to escort him out of there as Mazzatelli made the save.
Well, that's why you got a number one line, and Totino-Grace's number one line said enough of this. We're going to reestablish ourselves, and did a heck of a job. Henches diving and getting it into the zone, going heavy. Even though he took the hit, he got the puck deep inside the Osseo zone where they could go to work. So that's a good first line for the Eagles.
Off the draw, Fetzik recovering to at least knock it out of there. Now he'll come up with the loose puck. Lions tapping it ahead. Here's Max Johnson right back for Fetzik, but he was tied up. Back check there by Jordan for Totino-Grace. Max Johnson had it, lost it. Fetzik trying to get that puck back. A couple Eagles collide, but Fetzik had lost his stick. Now thrown out front, and Lodermeyer, the save, is looking for the tip. Is Max Johnson. Now Otto out there working hard. Gets it over to Max Johnson. Lions trying to free that puck back up. I have a feeling that, I don't know if it was Coach Willie or Fino or one or the other, a little fire under the Osseo guys a little bit, because all of a sudden they've started to skate hard and work a lot harder here in the second.
And they're getting really physical too.
Almquist tried to play to the corner, now goes and gets it himself. And momentum's a funny thing. I mean, you sit as a fan, here's Almquist, bring him to the front, he hits the outside of the pipe. Now teed up in a shot pad save. You know, momentum in any sport, it's just hard to explain how it comes and goes a little bit. You're watching as a fan, you're thinking, why weren't you doing this earlier or whatever, but it's just the way the games go. The other team's playing well, sometimes you don't get a chance to throw a good check, or you don't get a chance to make a good play because they've already done something, you know, positive on their end up the ice.
Well, I think hesitation's got a lot to do with it too. You're afraid to make a mistake. You talked about the last few games that we've done, Jay. You know, being afraid to make a mistake makes you hesitate. And I think the Orioles came out that way a little bit in the first period. They just didn't want to make a mistake, and now they're starting to play, you know, like, oh, what the heck? What do we got to lose? Let's rock and roll.
Under a minute to play here in this second period. A crushing check thrown there for Osseo by Lozinski. Knocked down at the blue line there. And a race for this puck, and the Orioles will win that race. About a half minute to go here in the second. Over throwing it toward the net, but knocked down. Onfi with good work there to keep that play alive. There's a shot, Mazzatelli. Ooh, and it's just wide there. Osseo looking to get one last rush going here. A pretty solid job on the back check. Oh, sliding down. Giveaway here. Chance. Lodermeyer the save. Oh, and he got a great job getting an arm up to stop that attempt from Compton after the Eagles turned the puck over.
Lozinski was crashing the net too. I like that number 12 here, but I think he hit his head pretty good on the ice, and have to check him out. But good opportunity by Osseo here. Picked it up, got a good forecheck going. Good shot there. You see Lozinski coming in. I guess he didn't hit his head. I thought he did. Sounded like he did. The only real advantage I've seen for the Eagles now that's helped them in this period, Jay, they're just a little bit bigger and stronger overall than Osseo, and it's helped them on the boards a few times here. Avoid some trouble.
And the buzzer will sound. This is a period Osseo would probably wish the period didn't come to an end, but they definitely got some of the momentum back. However, Totino-Grace leading it by a score of 2-1 through 2 periods. We'll be back with our second period highlights and then more hockey here on 12 Sports.
Sharing your passion starts with taking that first step. Take Lindsay, for example. Her first step was taking free TV classes at Northwest Community Television. Right away, she received professional training and now has the tools and skills necessary to produce her own show. She's turning dreams into realities right from her own home. And best of all, she's sharing her passion with members of her community and beyond. Share your passion. Visit nwct.org.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Good one, son.
Last summer, my new dad took me on vacation. First, we went deep sea fishing.
Wow! I'm so proud of you, son.
And then we went on Thunder Shark.
That was awesome! Let's go again.
3 times. I gotta say, it was pretty cool.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Oh, not again.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
Sharing your passion starts with taking that first step. Take Will, for example. His first step was taking free TV classes at Northwest Community Television. He's learning production skills and now has access to cutting-edge equipment. He's working on local music productions, meeting new people, and gaining experience needed to produce his own show. Best of all, he's sharing his passion for music with others in his community. Share your passion. Visit nwct.org.
Welcome back here to Brooklyn Park Ice Arena, Brooklyn Park Community Activity Center, as Totino-Grace leads Osseo by a score of 2-1 after 2 periods. Well, Osseo having some good winter sports again this year as usual, and their girls basketball team certainly has a good team and also a really good individual player, Kiara Russell. John Jacobson had a chance to visit with Kiara Russell a little bit earlier this season in a story that aired on our Sports Jam show. Here's a look now at Kiara Russell.
Kiara Russell says she received her first college recruiting letter in 7th grade, her first offer in 9th grade. She finally signed her letter of intent last month to attend Arizona State University, but said the whole recruiting process was a lot to handle.
It was just overwhelming, you know. At first I was like, wow, like really? But then I cut down a few schools.
After narrowing her schools to Minnesota, Wake Forest, and Arizona State, she chose ASU.
I love that they're a great academic school. They have a great alumni system. The campus was outstanding. It was so beautiful. I love the players. They're really welcoming, and then the coaches, just great people.
It's been so much fun to watch her growth. She has just really stepped up her role as a leader on the floor. I think the most special thing about Kiara is that she makes every player on the floor better.
A combo guard, Kiara blends the abilities of a shooting guard while directing the Orioles' offense at the point. But it's her explosive first step on defense that makes Russell a nightmare for opponents.
She's one of the best players that we're going to see all year, and in different situations you got to understand who your opponent is. And she's one of those kids that you have to spend time in practice talking about, hey, this kid will do these things, and we can't let this kid get away with this, and this. And you got to devote time in practice to talk about Kiara Russell. She is as talented as a player as I've ever seen come through this area.
I think it's a combination. I think she's got that natural instinct, but she's also so quick. There are very few kids that could keep up with that first step that she has.
I feel like I have more confidence. I used to not be able to hit a mid-range jump shot for my life, but now I'm starting to use it and develop it into my game, so.
A 3-year starter at Osseo, Russell started at Bloomington Kennedy, where she was a member of the Eagles' 2013 state tournament team. That experience drives Kiera to push the Orioles toward the same goal this winter.
I have a really great connection with them. I know when Ari is going to be right next to me. Like, I can just pass the ball. Like, I know where she's going to be. It's really great because I can trust them, and they trust me, so it works out perfectly.
There's already one state championship medal in the Russell household, and it belongs to Kiera's brother, Cordell.
God, and here comes Russell again.
He's a starting linebacker for the state champion Orioles. Having to watch that final game was as hard for Kiera as anything she's done on the basketball court.
Yeah, I had to cover my eyes on the last play. I had to, and I just started praying, and I was like, come on, you can do it. And I just covered my eyes, and then they pulled it through. So.
Arizona State reached the Sweet 16 in women's basketball a year ago. Kiera Russell's journey toward that kind of big stage is now underway. She will definitely miss what will be left behind.
I'm excited to go to college, but also I'm sad to leave high school. You know, high school, it created a lot for me, like with recruiting and stuff. So did AAU. So just leaving this behind, it's like, wow, I'm really gonna go to ASU next year.
And Kiera Russell and her Osseo teammates will be taking on Maple Grove in a girls and boys doubleheader coming up Friday night. We will have both games for you live here on 12 Sports, so should be a couple of great ones. The Crimson and Orioles meeting on the basketball court again on Friday night. 2-1, Totino-Grace leading Osseo here after 2 periods in our boys hockey matchup. We will come back with our highlights and then drop the puck for what should be a very good 3rd period coming up on 12 Sports.
30 million Americans will suffer from an eating disorder at some point in their lives. The National Eating Disorders Association has the information and resources to steer people and their families toward the road to recovery.
Hi, I work at the NEDA helpline. We have something called Click to Chat, which is a live chat with someone on the helpline, and they're really able to get support.
Call or visit the NEDA website today for help and hope.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
The Zamboni doing its thing here at Brooklyn Park. Eagles leading the Orioles 2-1, and we'll take a look at our highlights from period number 2 as each team got a goal in that period fairly early in the period, starting with opportunity here for Osseo. The shot rising up too high for Max Johnson. But then coming out of the corner, digging this puck free here. And watch Otto go to the backhand, and he's able to sneak it in, stick side there to tie the game up. But less than 3 minutes later, the Eagles got back-to-back power plays, and they're able to convert on the second one. First, the save there by Mazzatelli on the cross-ice pass. Oh, trip up there, but the Eagles keep the puck moving. Vaguely a blast, and then there to jab the rebound in there. Number 21 Lacey getting his first goal of the year. So Grace didn't lose the lead for long. Here's an opportunity for Osseo, but the shot over the top of the net by Compton. Back at the other end here, Johnson circling behind, drops a little quick pass off, and Mazzatelli just got a piece of that attempt by Henches. Another long one that was deflected just wide, and then a big rebound coming off the end board there. That's when things got a little physical. Mazzatelli trying to stay out of the fray. And right at the end of the period, Osseo getting another chance here, as that again was Compton with the shot. Osseo definitely picked it up late in the period. I thought the shot total seemed a little bit off possibly, but Grace still has a fairly big advantage there. It didn't seem like it in the second, but that's the way they rang it up here. So 4 penalties taken by Osseo, a couple taken by Grace, and of course the 1 power play goal was the go-ahead goal here. So we will get set for period number 3 here. We'll see if Osseo's momentum keeps up or if Totino-Grace can hold them off here in this Northwest Suburban boys hockey game on 12 Sports.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Hey, did you buy something from some gaming site?
What do you mean?
Yeah, look, there's a bunch of different charges on here.
Do you think someone stole our credit card information?
I don't know. That site sounds familiar, though.
Yeah, isn't that the site that Billy's on all the time?
You don't think. Billy!
Stop and think before you connect. Playing online is serious business. Visit dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect for tips on how to be safe online.
Sharing your passion starts with taking that first step. Take Lindsay, for example. Her first step was taking free TV classes at Northwest Community Television. Right away, she received professional training and now has the tools and skills necessary to produce her own show. She's turning dreams into realities right from her own home. And best of all, she's sharing her passion with members of her community and beyond. Share your passion. Visit nwct.org.
Can you help me with this? My new dad teaches me all kinds of stuff.
Sure.
He helps me with homework.
That would be 3.6795.
Thanks.
Yep.
He helps me with my decision making.
I wouldn't use this one. Ever.
And he's even teaching me how to drive.
And that's why cars have bumpers.
I'm learning so much.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Good one, son.
Last summer, my new dad took me on vacation. First, we went deep sea fishing.
Wow! I'm so proud of you, son.
And then we went on Thunder Shark.
That was awesome! Let's go again.
3 times. I gotta say, it was pretty cool.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of kids in foster care will take you just as you are.
Oh, not again.
Pretty much a good day for me would be people leaving their hands off of me. I'm always called names. Everywhere that I go, there's always someone calling me names, calling me gay. I've been choked, thrown up against a wall, punched. Nobody's ever tried to help me.
And we get set to begin period number 3 here from Brooklyn Park, along with Dan Ficken. I'm Jay Wilcox. Thanks for joining us here tonight for Osseo Totino-Grace boys hockey. Teams currently a point apart in the West Division of the Northwest Suburban. You see scoring in that second period. Otto and then Lacey for Totino-Grace.
Well, I think both coaches, not too much to say in between, the second and third. I think Osseo made a nice comeback. I think the coaches are happy with that period. Both teams just got to keep up what they're doing. It's just that simple, and let the chips fall where they may. I think both played to their ability in the second period there. The only thing I would say about Osseo stay out of the box, make sure your communication's good so you don't give one up because of a mistake like that.
Boxes are empty to begin the third, so 5 skaters aside, and we are underway here. Puck staying right where it fell there as Henches and Fetzig battling for it. Played into the Osseo zone. Perna getting it ahead to Lyons there, and now Fetzik. That one intercepted though and thrown right back ahead. Here comes Johnson for Totino-Grace. Ryan Johnson sending it out front. And then almost picked off, but overskated. That puck deflects over the net. Henches back out to the point. Floated back to the other corner. Fagerly up with it. Intercepted by Fetzik. And he takes the return pass. He fought off a check. And then Fagerly able to win that puck back here for the Eagles. Knocked ahead, Ryan Johnson, and they're offside.
Look who's coming out here and getting a little physical. All of a sudden, the Eagles are turning a little heat up. Yeah, throwing their weight around Fagerly with a good play coming on the back check, and the Eagles forcing themselves in the offensive zone, establishing that forecheck again.
Orioles win the draw, but it pops into the Osseo bench there as Brewer tried to send the pass ahead. Kevin Willie, a youth hockey teammate of our game director tonight, Roger Larson. So their history goes back quite a ways, playing in the Osseo Maple Grove Association. And recovered here by the Eagles. Nice bank pass ahead. Long one thrown in on net. That time by Bonfi. And again, it'll pop over into the Osseo bench. Orioles come up with that loose puck. That pass intercepted at the Grace blue line. Eagles right back hard the other way. Shot blocked there on the attempt from out wide from Becker. Johnson carrying it out for Osseo. He'll send it into the corner, and they head off on a change. Looking to get that first line back out. And this puck lifted into the Osseo zone as the Eagles want to change. However, they did not quite clear the center line. So icing against Totino-Grace, a little bit of an impatient play there. You wanted to get it deep. They wanted to change, however.
Well, sometimes the players think, well, if I get it close, they'll just, play it. It's kind of like, the double play at second base. Well, don't have to quite touch it. It's got to be in the vicinity. No, sir. Not the way it works.
Off the draw, Fetzik shot wide. Lyons a turnaround pass saved. They try to get it back to him. Broken up though. Kept in at the line, and Lodermeyer will cover this one up as that shot trickled in after hitting a stick. Both goalies, I think, have played for the most part pretty well here tonight, Dan. They're, giving up a rebound here and there, but as we said, coming into the game, kind of have had, so-so goaltending as a group for both sides, and I think they've performed pretty well.
Well, pretty good positioning and done a pretty good job smothering stuff when they needed to, and that's the key, the positioning that they play. Don't get strung out too far, know where you are.
Shot deflecting wide, now pass back out and almost broken up cleanly there, back the other way. As Jordan tried to take it for Totino-Grace. Pass, first one knocked down, then lifted into the Osseo zone where Eisler goes back to get it. Over to Delmonico. The Eagles coming right back. Here comes Henches to the net, fires. Ooh, and a tough save there. Mazzatelli, that one getting him up around the shoulder. As Henches came in with a good burst from the blue line on, and a couple times he's really looked to pass first. That time he went out hard at the net.
I'll tell you, that second line of Osseo came on. All of a sudden, that Eagles first line was right back out on the ice real quick. A little bit of coaching, going back and forth line matching, and of course, then that forced Osseo to bring their first line back out. So we'll see how these matchups continue throughout this period.
Icing call there against Grace, so we'll head back into their zone. Pretty even third so far. Neither team really establishing anything major. Here's a look at that rush by Henches. Boy, he saw exactly where he wanted to go, and he almost got it done.
Yeah, upper short side. Boy, there was a little opening there, and he was trying for it. Nice rush, though. Really good. Couple good moves to get himself free and attacked really hard.
Flip back into the Grace zone. Lodermeyer stopping it behind the net. Hench's cross ice pass. Fagerly carrying it to the middle, sliding it back for Henches. Oh, and he comes in and winds up in Mazzatelli's lap there. And Mazzatelli complaining a little bit about it.
And I don't blame him one bit. Henches has no business getting in there after that bucket's frozen, yet he kept coming. I like Henches as a player, Jay. I really do, and I love his attitude. He's just feisty, you know. He's got good skill, good smoothness, but he's also got a little bit of an edge to him.
He wins the draw, back out, and Mazzatelli making the stop on the attempt from Michael Pettyjohn from the point there.
Well, there we go with Henches again. Get a good clean win in the face-off zone, gets it back to his D, creates a good shot. Mazzatelli really had to make a save on.
Tried to win that one clean to himself. Now he flips it out front. Ryan Johnson's backhander, though, denied. And the Orioles breaking it back the other way. It's a little behind Hill, but he turned and swept it forward anyway. Check thrown at the Grace bench. The hitting picking up a little bit in that little scrum. And the Orioles able to force turnover, or at least break up the breakout try there. Johnson's heading through the center ice area, but he did not get a piece of that, so it'll be an icing against Totino-Grace. He saw that he needed to change his angle to receive that one, but they just couldn't quite connect.
Sometimes when it slows down, you know, and you're not playing at a pace, and, you know, and now you really got to look at it, your natural instincts don't take over. You start, you know, instead of making a pass, you throw a pass. Instead of making a pitch, you're throwing a pitch. And that's exactly what happened there. They missed it.
Fetsick winning the draw for Osseo. Max Johnson turns and buries it, and we're even at 2.
That is a typical screen goal. Went up under the Totino-Grace defenseman's leg into the upper corner, and I'm not sure Lodermeyer saw it until it was in the net. It'd be good to see the replay of this. But there we go, another good clean win on the face-off, and bang, bang. And it gets right to the guy they want, Max Johnson, the leading goal scorer for the Orioles. And all of a sudden we got a tie game here with 12:44 left.
18th of the year.
Look at the win.
Turns, fires, pops the water bottle there, and so a 2-2 hockey game. And now Grace with a chance, but it squirts away there from Rzinski. Now centered again. Fetsick, of course, getting the lone assist as he won the draw. The only 2 players to touch the puck there. Fetsick now circling in behind. Puts it back to the point, and that one deflecting the other way now. Alec Johnson, and it will squirt out to center. Here's Alec Johnson controlling again as he avoids a hit and another. Need to get rid of it, though, and he does. To Fetsick, he shoots, but that one blocked up and over the net. That one developed into a pretty decent chance there. It looked like Osseo was being outnumbered and we're going to lose it, but another look at the draw win. Here's watch Johnson turn, shoot, and up into the top.
You see it went under that Grace leg, defenseman's legs, and got to it. But, you know, good back checking by the Orioles. You know, keeping it high inside the Grace zone, but not letting it come on and working it through and try getting another opportunity here.
Eagles on the rush, and Mazzatelli will make the glove catch on that one. Not going to take any chances, so face off in the Osseo zone. See what that goal does to the momentum, or, you know, for both teams, I guess, in this game. So Osseo evens things up. Floated to the front, a quick shot, and Mazzatelli the save. Nice quick release there by Dubuque. Boy, that was not an easy save as he kept it low and hard.
Yeah, he wasn't quite sure what happened to it either. He finally something found in front of him, but, you know, Grace going back doing the things that you do. Assert yourself, win your face-offs, get shots off. Now, you know, it's a one-goal game either way. You know, just get shots. Don't be pretty about this thing. It's all tied up. Next goal could be a very important goal, Jay.
Battle for it along the wall. Pulled out front. Ooh, and Dubuque slid it right through the crease. So he tried to jam that one in. Hill penned up a little bit. Dubuque freed it back up. Now they'll go to the point with it. Quick shot. Pad save directed aside by Mazzatelli, and here come the Orioles with Almquist. Almquist leading the rush up the left side. And has it squirt away from him. Grace looking to counter. Ooh, and it could have been a dangerous collision there, but looks like both guys are fine. Lifted back in, and Lodermeyer will drop it there as he gives it over to Mueller. Pass a little too far, but Almquist couldn't control it as a Grace player fell right in front of the Osseo bench. Alec Johnson throwing it into the Eagle zone, and Fetzik first to it, but couldn't keep possession. Now Fetzik able to keep that puck in though. Trying to get a shot away. He took a little bit of a check. Fetzik throwing it to the front, knocked down, but they still keep it. Ooh, and then tried to go to Max Johnson. He was pretty open, but the pass was behind him. Now intercepted. Here comes Henches. 2-on-1 possibly. Henches sliding it across. The shot. Oh, and the save by Mazzatelli on Fagerly. They got in a little too tight to make a pass returning to Henches. Now here comes Max Johnson for Osseo. He shoots. And that one high. We have an Osseo player shaken up. And hobbling, really struggling to try and get to the bench right now. Looks like that's Lyons.
Lyons, yeah. One of the top guys at the top line. That's a significant injury if he can't come back.
Hops out of the zone, thrown right back in. Grace needing to touch up, but they don't. And then Ryan Johnson coming in with a kind of a late little check there. And Alec Johnson didn't care for that much. Have a look at that 2-on-1.
Just a beautiful play there, though, by God. Mazzatelli held his ground. Should have smothered there, though, at that point. He's coming back, Johnson, or Max. Was that Max Johnson?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Good opportunity there going up top. I still prefer him to hit the net of some sort, you know, but I can see where you try to get a hole on the upper corner.
Flip back into the Osseo zone here in a 2-2 tie, 9:40 to go in the third. And Osseo looking to break it out. Pass fanned on the first time. Brought right back in. Grace has definitely got more aggressive again, starting to hit a little bit more. And
but that back checking stuff too. They're just not letting Osseo get any room on this ice at all. They're challenging them all over the place.
Lodermeyer will play this one off the glass. Doesn't get out though. Lacey back to pick it up here for the Eagles. Now they're able to break it out nicely and send it on in deep. Check thrown there as going down hard was Delmonico. Otto took a hit. It's thrown out front, but Delmonico intercepting it there for Osseo. He'll float that puck to the corner and chase after it himself, and gets there. Pass, though, doesn't make its way to the front. Collision at the blue line as the puck just squirts into the Osseo zone. Both teams playing with some desperation now, Dan. I think they sense that the next goal might be the one that wins this game.
Well, it's getting a little sloppy a bit, too. There's in between passes. Just trying to keep the puck out of trouble.
Intercepted here, but Eagles would have been offside, so he had to hold up, and then puck tossed in on net. Sent out front. Mazzatelli. Now they slam it to the corner to get it out of danger. Max Johnson will send it down the rink, and that will be an icing call here against Osseo.
And a well-needed one, too. Good icing on that point by Max Johnson.
Well, Lyons has come back out. He's stretching, trying to make sure that he can go. He was definitely feeling some pain as he headed the bench last time, but he's going to at least give it a go on this shift, take his regular spot on that first line.
Looked like he kind of hyperextended that knee a little bit, too. Kind of stretched the wrong way. I don't think it was a knee-to-knee shot.
Max Johnson had that one jabbed away, but he gets back to it, then intercepted as they tried to go to Fetzik. Now here's a pass ahead and an opportunity the other way. Ryan Johnson, nice move, backhander. Oh, and Mazzatelli the save. Good move by Johnson after he almost lost control of the puck. Now Max Johnson back the other way. Tried to split the D, but they got a piece of him, and Lodermeyer clears it. Kind of been fun to see when those first lines match up here tonight because they both got some ability. And not sure what we had for a call there.
That's the opportunity here. Johnson coming right through it. Just really great move there. The backhand, but Mazzatelli just, we've talked earlier that these goaltenders have got to step up. Which one's going to step up and make the play to keep it out? It's just as important as scoring a goal, Jay.
Face off just outside the Osseo blue line. The Eagles win it and dump it on in. Almquist back to get it. And Fagerly frees it up. Out high. Quick shot. And then that one knocked aside. Otto knocked down. Perna swings it around for Almquist. Almquist pass with a skate. Second try gets it out. Now Otto. Float one in. Blocker directing it to the corner there from Lodermeyer. Now Hill. Henches getting the pass away. And onto the tape, here's Ryan Johnson, one-on-one with Almquist. Now waiting for help and gets it. Right back. Oh, and a nice stop. Mazzatelli. Really nice setup by Totino-Grace, but Ryan Johnson denied.
Boy, this line of Henches and Johnson, boy, not only that, they're fighting, but nice play by Johnson here. Gets it back across. Big comeback, and then just couldn't quite get a hand on it.
There,
But then a little shenanigans behind the net with Henches and Johnson with an Osseo player. A lot of times with emotions, the game this close and stuff like that, a lot of stuff comes in the forefront. You really start trying to assert yourself in a lot of different ways.
Orioles unable to get it out here. And that flip knocked down. Back into the circle it comes, and Johnson slamming it, but couldn't get it out. Now across it comes. Forboard is going to fire that high shot. Mazzatelli directing that one aside. Brewer carrying it out for Osseo, but that one deflected away, and Grace looking to pounce on that turnover. Oops, they're offside.
Boy, be careful of that cross-ice pass, especially when you're telegraphing it like that. That'll give a defenseman an opening just to jump on it. It's like you were saying earlier, Joe. Make them short passes and make them work. Don't necessarily have to make a big boomer pass off to the side and free somebody up. Just work it down the ice.
Now the Orioles able to bring it in, but it quickly taken away by Mueller. Now a turnaround the other way, though, and that shot was blocked. Never made it to the net. Lacey chipping it ahead, and that came out and back in offside against Osseo here. So we're getting late in the game here, about 5.5 minutes to go, and a 2-2 tie.
Kind of getting in crunch time now. We're going to start seeing the top lines from both these teams a little more often than we necessarily would.
Drop pass there, well read, tipped away by Ockery. Eagles looking to counter again, and circling back out of his zone to receive it was Jordan, and he will backhand that one in deep. Jordan able to control that puck for the Eagles, comes out into the circle, shoots, and Mazzatelli juggled it a bit, but hangs on and will force the faceoff. Kind of a big week for Osseo here. Of course, after this one, they host the leader of the West Division, Spring Lake Park, coming up on Saturday. So, they could either win their way really right to the thick of the race or play their way out of it over tonight and Saturday.
Yeah. That'd be a big game for them. Grace right now, a little bit softer part of the schedule. They're playing the teams that are underneath them in the division and could get an opportunity to build a little bit more of a lead here. But this game and the next game for Osseo are huge.
Hench is trying to pull it around the knee. Now he does get it back. Has Johnson with him. Oh, and he just missed the net. Not sure the net's not off right now. I think it is.
Hench again, just counterbalancing, coming right back at you. Him and Johnson, just two peas in the pot. I'll tell you what, just really working well together.
Johnson had the first Grace goal. He's had a couple of great chances. He's probably thinking to himself, man, I should have, that's two in a row and the previous one even more so. I think that he probably felt he should have converted. And it looked like Grace was going to have a chance off that draw, but the second whistle sounding here is something was off with that. Somebody infringing on the circle maybe.
Somebody was cheating again, Jay. Doggone it.
The Orioles a clean win that time. Around to Max Johnson, but couldn't get any further ahead. Now Almquist. Bank pass, and Ryan Johnson there. It's offside. Grace is doing a nice job of pouncing on some of these passes in the neutral zone, aren't they?
Well, they're rotating high, going inside out, and then they're always back in position. Somebody's always back in position with three back and floating all the time. It's just cluttering up the passing zone. There's no opening for Osseo to make a clean pass.
Johnson sends it in deep. 2 forecheckers go in. Ooh, a heavy check zone there and a high one that knocked Almquist down. Back across, looking for Ryan Johnson here for Grace as they look to break it out. 4 minutes to go here in the hockey game, and a turnover as Fetzik comes away with it. Max Johnson trying to gain control here and does. Loose in the circle, but the Eagles take it back the other way. Pass didn't connect though. And now they're offside. They'll have to touch up. Henches will circle back and get out of there as Almquist carries it. Grace trying to complete a change. Comes back to Almquist. Tees it up. That one knocked down.
Well, you notice that Grace never lets you have anything clean in their middle. Everything's been to the outside pretty much. They're really doing a good job of shutting down that slot area on the Orioles.
3-on-2 rush. Mazzatelli the save, but left a big rebound. Oh, and then it hits the side of the net. Official trying to get out of the way there as the puck was almost in his skates. Eagles, a nice job to keep it in. Long shot. Whoa. And Mazzatelli kicked that one up to his glove.
Well, Lorberg was just a wrecking machine on that last rush there, just kind of controlling it. Point was nice to set up, stop the puck from getting out and send it right back in. But, you know, Mazzatelli's played a pretty good game tonight, Jay. He's made some pretty key saves in the third period. I can think and honestly say Grace has definitely had the better opportunities in this period.
Back out to the point. A lot of traffic, so they throw it down deep and look to cycle again and get attacking. Nice takeaway there by Brewer for Osseo. They've made it difficult for Osseo to break the puck out, or if they do get it out, to advance anywhere. Here's a tip. Oh, Mazzatelli a save, and then another great tip right out front by Cahill for Grace. And they'll turn and hack it right back in and go back on the forecheck. They really bottled Osseo up later in this game.
I guess he didn't get a line change there.
Flip to the front. Backhand try, knock down. Another try. Mazzatelli the save. And then the whistle will sound. And there are little extra shots there.
Well, Grace should have a goaltender interference here. We'll watch the shot go down. Makes a save. Because that could have gone too. There was a cross check definitely in front. A little bit later on, number 4 was all over the Osseo goalie, and there wasn't a puck in sight. I love it. It's getting physical for the last part of the game here.
First line's out again for both teams. A little over 2 minutes to go in regulation. Lions beaten to that puck. Fetzik, though, comes back to get it. Toss now to Almquist. Taken away. Ooh, and they nearly swung it down low to Ryan Johnson there. Here's Almquist. Floating one, can't get it out. Turnover. Back across for Johnson, and his stick was tied up by Perna just before he could get a deflection on that puck. Now Almquist getting it to Max Johnson. Johnson, couple of moves, and they stayed with him pretty well, though. Intercepted behind the net by Lyons. As they try and dig it free with 1:20 to go in the third. Fetsick out of there with it. Fetsick will turn and send it back deep again. Lyons has deflected, but gets to Max Johnson. Now a slap shot, rebound, try. Oh, and Lodemeyer.
Great save by Lodemeyer. Nice setup.
Rob Lyons there, probably his save of the game.
Oh my gosh. Now watch it come up top. There's the key. They got it up top. Good shot coming through. And here's the opportunity to take the game, and Lodemeyer was all over it. I own that rubber. Nice job, young man. And he hasn't seen a puck in a while, Jay, either. You know, he could have been asleep. He had to make a big save right there. So we got 1:06 left here, and I think Osseo just called the timeout.
They can sense, you know, this might be a pretty good opportunity to get an offensive zone draw. Let's draw something up and see if we can't create a really good chance right off the bat here.
Yeah, another good play here. What I like to going up top has been key for them tonight. Got it out to Almquist. Rebound came through the lines. It's just, you can see he's frustrated. You'll see that opportunity again about 19 times tonight in the dark.
Sounds like it was actually the Eagles who took that timeout. So.
Okay. Well, that's good. It allows both of them to get their first lines that were just out there rested up again. And I'll play a minute. I would imagine there'll be another timeout here if there is a whistle. Really close game. We kind of knew we'd have kind of a game like this. There's a lot at stake between the placement and the Western Division of the Northwest Suburban Conference, and it's met our expectations here. Both teams playing with a little bit of grit, and you know, I think goaltending, which was a question for both teams coming in, has played very well for both teams tonight. So we'll see which one cracks first.
Lodemeyer getting a little congratulations. Probably, I think he's reenacting that last save for his teammate there. And with good reason.
Well, I say if you make a good save, you have every right to do it. It's like Dizzy Dean used to say, it ain't bragging if you can actually do it.
Face-off is a key here, and the Eagles end up controlling it somewhat anyway. Bagley trying to get it out, kept in by Max Johnson, then pushed back out to center. Under a minute to play here in the third. Now here's Ryan Johnson up with it, shooting, and the puck stayed loose. Still dangerous here for the Eagles. Shot tipped just wide. And now intercepted by Fetsick. Sent back down deep again. Almquist going to get it. To Lyons. And now Max Johnson. Half minute to play here in the third period. 2-2 tie as it's sent back out, and it's looking like we might play extra time here tonight as Almquist sends it ahead, and now intercepted at the Grace blue line. Ahead it comes. Bagley had it tipped away. Knocked away from Henches by Almquist. A chance for a rush the other way. Max Johnson under 10 to go now. Max Johnson leaving it for Fetsick, a little bit behind him though. And sent down deep. Lodemeyer covering that puck up, and then Henches and Johnson get into it a little bit.
1.6 seconds left here. I'd almost consider pull my goalie if I was Osseo. Face off in the Totino zone. They're not going to get a chance to get back down. Maybe get an extra person down there.
Henches and Johnson will face off here. Henches did what he should there, just got down, blocked that, and played it to the corner. So we have reached the end of regulation here at Brooklyn Park Arena, and we are going to play OT here tonight. Osseo 2, Totino-Grace 2. We'll be right back with overtime on 12 Sports.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
All right, give me a spot. You know my motto, safety first.
They could be dangerous. I think we should call animal control.
Animal control?
To be safe.
Don't worry. I got this. It's a new motto.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
So a 2-2 score heading into overtime, and Grace, I think, came on pretty strong late in that third period.
Yep.
Never know if it's going to carry over at all, though, as you get a look. The only scoring, of course, in that third was Osseo's tying goal from Max Johnson after Fetzik won a faceoff. So, and we see no penalties there, too. I think they definitely let him play a little bit, but also the guys realizing now's not the time to, to get a retaliation kind of thing.
And there was some, I'm not going to say opportunities, but it was good to see the kids were disciplined enough just to say, okay, I'm just going to let that one go and we'll keep playing on. I liked the way that third period, there was some grittiness. I mean, both teams worked very hard and had to do the small things, the digging on the boards, the playing tough in front of the net. And both teams displayed that very, very well. And the goaltending played pretty good that period. Both goalies denying anything going into the net, and that'll have to continue. But I look forward to a good overtime period. And this is where now you play to win. Don't worry about losing. Go out and play to win and put every piece of rubber a la puck on a la net as quickly as possible and get as many of your players there as quickly as possible. You rarely see a real clean goal win these things, so let's get an opportunity to have a goal that'll go in.
Teams change ends, of course, here for OT, and it was interesting too, Dan. I think both goalies had some of their best saves right late in that period when it could have been, do or die for winning the game, especially obviously that one Lodermeyer when Lyons got the puck all alone in front and he denied him.
Well, here we go. That'll be a really good finish here.
I always find it interesting too, to see as coaches, how much do you ride that first line, especially when you've got a case where you clearly have a best line, which they both do. You don't want to get beat with a third line out necessarily, but at the same time, you have to be a little bit in consideration of how much gas do they have left in the tank too.
You do, but standings in the West Division are a key.
A couple of good opportunities. Johnson a shot, and that one bounces away. Sorry, Dan.
No problem.
Back into the Grace zone it comes. Fetzik trying to free that puck up and is able to chip it loose. Fetzik trying to get his stick down on it, and the Eagles come away with it instead. Osseo turning right back the other way. Look at that puck bounce. Fetzik to the front, shooting. And Lodermeyer the save. Actually, Max Johnson. Sorry, 16 instead of 15. And there's a little joke in there with Lyons.
Well, and they came, and the cavalry came with them. Max Johnson here, nice move there. Gets the shots on, and Lyons standing right there. Fesker was right there. But Lodermeyer made a nice job, and not only made the save, but he stopped it. He took any rebound out of play there.
So we'll see if Osseo, if that was their one big chance, or if they're able to keep on generating more. They keep the puck in here, thrown deep. Lodermeyer's going to pounce on that one and not take any chances. So another quick face-off coming up in the Grace zone.
And you were talking about first lines here. Guess what? We got both second lines out playing against each other. I would imagine during this overtime, they're going to look for an opportunity, either coach to slip the first line in against the second or third line of the other team.
Knocked down deep into the Grace zone again. Orioles able to keep it in. A floater and Lodermeyer. Those can be bad bounces, and we saw at Armstrong-Champlin Park game a few weeks back.
Yes, we did. Oh my gosh.
So another draw in the Grace zone. Pretty good start to OT here for Osseo. They got one real good chance, but they've definitely kept the puck bottled up in the Eagle zone for the most part.
Okay, we got first line against first line here now.
Pass deflected, knocked away. The Eagles will get another opportunity to break it out. Henches trying to get a step and does on Holmquist. Henches able to come up with that puck, looking for Ryan Johnson behind the net. Johnson sending it out front. Tipped away, and then a good pinch in to keep it alive, but maybe not. Here's an opportunity for Max Johnson. Teeing it up, and Lodermeyer the save. Johnson's stick broke on that shot. Now Henches with a head of steam the other way, not for long. Fetsick picked his pocket, but then good help by Lacey. Osseo gets it right back though. Fetsick had it, lost it. Orioles bang it in deep, and they're going to make a quick change. At least part of that unit. Henches gets the long pass ahead. Egerly shooting, and where is it? He tried to jam it in. Kelly lost sight of it. Now floated back across. Turnaround try there, right into a shin pad. And that leads to a rush the other way. Here comes Otto. Oh, they're offside. Losinski was in just ahead of Otto.
And Otto, that's the second opportunity here. A nice opportunity by Max Johnson. Unfortunately, his stick snap, well, he probably got more on it. And again, here's a shot that Mazzatelli didn't have a clue. He kind of went up. And it almost went in, Jay, on the short side there as it bounced.
Well, I was with Jordan there. I lost sight of that one, too, after it hit him and popped up.
Yeah.
It's like, where is it? And now we'll get a timeout taken here by Osseo. Kind of a little wry smile there from both Osseo coaches there. Wow, we had a chance or two we could have buried, but we didn't. And but you got to still keep coming just as hard. When the end is in sight here, really no excuse for not being a real hard shift for each time out. I mean, you know the game could end on any of the given shifts, so you got to go out and go hard. I mean, you still play smart and do the things you're supposed to do, but nothing to save it for anymore now.
Well, the funny thing is, at the rate this game has progressed, first period not so much, second and third. I mean, we talked about that grid. I mean, each line, as they get the opportunity, is taking it out there. They're physically running themselves as hard as they possibly can for the whole shift. But both teams have forced the other one to play that way. It's been really up and down, hard knocks hockey. It's been fun to watch. It's been a good hockey game tonight. And unfortunately, somebody might not lose this game. We could end the tie, just like we did Saturday when we saw the girls game. So. Number one against number one again.
Fetsick and Henches will face off.
I'll be saying that combo in your sleep tonight, Jay. You said that a bunch of times tonight.
Kicked into the Grace zone as they look to try and break it out here. Olton will send it across now to Mueller. Rolls into the Osseo zone. Turner back to play it there. Orioles now able to get it out. Chance for a 3-on-2. Here comes Fetsick. Shooting. Oh, and Lodermeyer makes the save. Wow, and then Lyons crashed into the net courtesy of a Grace player. And then Max Johnson getting into it a little bit with Mueller. So see if there will be, I suspect no penalties here the way it looks, but.
Well, good move. I like Fetsick. Get the shot on goal. There's disappointed, but no, that's what you do. Lodermeyer was up to it, made a nice save, got it into his pads, held it, forced a face-off. That's exactly what you do. Both players performing well.
Getting the net all squared away after Lyons went crashing into it.
Coach Lord tried to get his second line out there, and he saw that Osseo's first line stayed, so he brought his first line right back out. Oops.
Legally turning to get that one now. Almquist throws it around behind the net. Lyons knew he was going to get hit, but played it up. And they floated out. The puck is tipped to the ice. It slows down anyway. And the Eagles try and get their breakout going. Pass connecting there. Here comes Henches, dangerous up the middle. Henches cutting in. He shoots, but missed the net. And that one off a shin pad. Chance back the other way. Here comes Max Johnson. And he fires Lodermeyer to save. And then Johnson was dumped to the ice by Lacey. But not enough to draw a penalty, apparently. Max Johnson
is not happy, and I don't blame him. This is out of line. I'm sorry. But good shot by, or good opportunity by Henches here. I still think he should have hit the net. Now, as it goes past through, you'll see him get up. I guess you won't see him get up in it, but there should have been a penalty there.
So the face-off in the Grace zone. Hill will face off against Dubuque. So we've gone deep enough into OT that we are seeing, you know, each team having to use more than just their top groups. Hill plays it back behind the net. Orioles trying to get free, and they do. Here's a chance. Oh, and a rocket, but it caroms way up high. I'm not sure the net. That would have been interesting. The whistle seemed to sound before that puck went up into the netting. The net might have been off. We would have had a kind of an interesting one if that one ended up in, because I don't know that it would have counted. It sounded like the whistle had already just blown.
Well, I see just a good forechecking effort here by the Orioles. Getting it down low and working hard from behind. Good body right there. Follow-up player gets it out front and rips it. And it's deflected by, I think, the D in front.
Here come the Eagles on the rush. And that shot deflected up high off the stick of Dubuque. Battle for it in the corner. Now Alec Johnson out of there with it for Osseo. Couldn't get the puck in deep. Picked off, and now is thrown into the corner here by the Orioles as they'll go in and forecheck. Lacey's pass, that one was tipped, so no ice. Orioles long stretch pass to Max Johnson. The D stayed in pretty good position though. Now back down toward the corner, Johnson. Looking out front, that one directed away. Johnson to the point, a shot, and Lodermeyer tracking that one quite nicely off the stick of Perna and makes the glove catch.
I thought you almost had a nice tip there, but boy, that young man stepped up pretty good too. All of a sudden, he's had some pressure on him, Jay, with the last part of the third period. And in this period, he's had to stand up, make some big-time saves for the Eagles.
Off the draw, Osseo winds up with it. Johnson leaving it for Lyons, but too much traffic, couldn't get a shot away.
Let's go.
Hey, thrown on net out of a little scrum and right on cue there as Lodermeyer makes another save. Henches trying to get to this puck as he fights it out with Almquist. Henches freed it up, but then his pass intercepted. Orioles right back the other way. Checks it, chases it down in the corner for Max Johnson. Turns and shoots and hit bodies in front. Eagles unable to clear though. And now they do get it out to center. Long one floated right back in by Osseo. Mueller back to pick it up for the Eagles. That one will crawl over the glass and out. It was tipped though by Lyons. Face off outside the blue line with 2:32 to go in OT. think we're starting to see a little bit of fatigue, Dan.
Yeah.
You know, the guys are giving it their all, but they're just not moving quite as fast as they were for a lot of the third.
Yeah, they get up to speed, breaking out of the zone, and after about 4 strides, it starts slowing down again. But you know, they played hard. Both teams have played really hard.
Knocked into the Osseo zone and a race for it here. Alec Johnson got the pass away to Otto. And here come the Orioles. Hill. Oops. Left the puck behind and a counterattack though fails to connect. Osseo bench telling get it in deep.
The ice is getting mushy now, or at least it's got a lot of snow on it, you know. Sometimes stick in ain't going to do good because you just don't have the same feel because the puck ain't moving as freely.
Otto throwing a check to free it up. Here's Fetsick as Osseo trying to get the remainder of that first line out there. Big check thrown there and now sent back to the corner the other way. 1:45 to play in OT. Osseo is kind of started to take over in this overtime. But obviously we're still playing on, so they haven't been able to put anything away just yet. Here's Fetsick with the steal. Pass back to the point. Brewer fights to keep it in. Eagles right now just trying to get a clear of any kind. Controlled here by Holton. And they will ice the puck. And actually going to throw it right on net, so Osseo looking to quickly counter. Tip. Oh. Max Johnson was there waiting for it, but his teammate didn't know it. Not that it necessarily would have been an immediate chance, but it cost him any possibility of that. Under a minute to go. Eagles trying to generate some chances now late. Laid down deep. Johnson sending it around for Hensley. Perna digging in hard to try and get it out of there. Now it comes out front. It gets away though from Ryan Johnson. Holmquist sending it to the corner. Now it's Osseo's turn to want to whistle here.
Yeah.
Taken away by Henches. He shoots. Tried to go high stick side. Big rebound. Mazzatelli to save. And then the puck came loose, but the whistle had already sounded. And we'll get a face-off with 26 to play and still even up at 2.
At that time you watch the Osseo Orioles kind of fade a little bit too, and the Eagles start putting on a good, forecheck and started moving the puck around. Got a couple good opportunities there. And Mazzatelli now is being challenged, so there's been a little ebb and flow in this period. Now they got 26-6 left in this overtime.
Eagles leave their first line out there. Osseo does not. Here's the pass back for Johnson. And taken away, and now a chance on the rush the other way for Osseo. Hill couldn't get it around the D, but it stays in the zone, at least for the moment, but then back out. Under 15 to play now. Perna tipped into the corner, but they're going to have to hurry. Here's Almquist. Almquist dragged down, but not going to see a call late like that. Puck coming to the line, and the game will end. And then a little late check by Henches, and the linesman shoves him out of there. So we reach the end of overtime here, and a good battle here. We'll end up in a 2-2 tie here. And boy, both teams had stretches of really playing well, and good hockey game here tonight.
Really good hockey game. Both teams stretched themselves. I thought both of them played to their abilities and what they try to do based on the teams they are. And it was an interesting matchup. I thought the Eagles were very smooth, had their systems in place, worked their forecheck, moved the puck well. I thought the Osseo Orioles, nice grit. That first line worked hard and scrapped. And I think the big thing here, too, I think the goaltending was good on both teams. I think it's something both coaches were looking for, and I thought it stood out tonight on both teams. So, good game tonight.
So that'll do it for tonight's telecast here from Brooklyn Park, as this one ends in a tie. Osseo 2, Totino-Grace 2. For Dan Ficken and all of our crew, I'm Jay Wilcox. Good night here from Brooklyn Park.